The end. There you have it. Well, there you have it. All right, headphone on, mic on, camera on. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You already know what we're doing today. We got another reaction video for you guys. Today we're going to be reacting to Understanding European Soccer in 4 Simple Steps, a guide for Americans, which is what I am. So hopefully today we're going to learn something. I know some of you guys probably like this idiot, man, back at it again with another European soccer football video, and he don't know what he's talking about. So today we're gonna try to change that. We're gonna try to learn a little bit. A lot of you guys have been very helpful, helping clear up some things that I maybe don't understand or have been misinformed about, and I appreciate you guys doing that. Real quick before we get into this video though, shout out to Pen and Paper for making this video. We're going to be leaving that channel in the description box below, as well as the original video if you guys want to check it out for yourself. Talking a little fast today. I gotta slow it down, reel it down. Alright, so this video is a little bit shorter than what we're used to, but a couple of you guys have recommended this video to me, so a shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys doing that. We got many more videos lined up, but I figured, you know, we take a little bit of a break and try to learn something in between some of these, you know, soccer/football videos that we're trying to do, right? So anyway, without further ado, we've got Understanding European Soccer in 4 Simple Steps. Let's get it.
Welcome to Understanding Soccer in Europe in 4 Simple Steps, a guide for Americans.
That's me.
Although from the outside it may seem complex and confusing, to understand how soccer works in Europe, you really only need to know 4 things.
All right.
Number 1, each country has its own soccer league. Seasons run from August to May.
Each country? Every single country has it? Okay. I'll shut up.
4 things. Number 1, each country has its own soccer league. Seasons run from August to May, in which each team plays every other team twice.
Okay.
Once at home and once
That's where stages come in, correct? You got like stage 1. He might answer that.
On the road. Games are divided into 2 45-minute halves. And when the game is over, the winner is awarded 3 points, the loser 0.
I didn't know that.
In the event of a tie, each team gets 1 point.
Boo.
After each team has played all the other teams twice, the team with the most points is crowned champion of the league. They get a big trophy, a parade, and the season is over. There are no playoffs. Sort of. But more on that in a minute. Before the books...
That has always been weird to me. Sports that don't do a playoff system has always been interesting. But I could also see how that could be... Especially when you play everybody twice. Like, it kind of makes sense that you don't need it, you know? Everybody gets a fair shake at each team. 1 at home, 1 away. And then it's based off of points on win or loss and nothing else. You know?
Or close on the season, there is still one small bit of housekeeping to be done.
Okay.
Number 2, relegation.
Yeah.
We'll use the German league as an example.
Now, before he talks about this relegation, I would assume that is if a team is like at a certain, like below a certain bar, so X amount of points or X amount of like standings, like you could get relegated to like a lower league or something like that. Let's find out.
Every year, when the German league has concluded and the champion has been crowned, the 3 teams with the least amount of points are kicked out of the league.
Right.
This process is known as relegation. The 3 vacant spots are subsequently filled by the top 3 teams from Germany's 2nd division.
Okay.
And unlike, say, baseball in the US, teams in the 2nd and subsequent divisions are not owned by teams in the top division. Imagine if the Pittsburgh Pirates or Oakland Raiders had to fight at the end of each season just to stay in the league. What if instead of coasting to the bottom for better draft picks, they were fighting to the bitter end?
I mean, I'll be honest, the whole like relegation thing, I think esports does that a little bit. I like the whole concept behind relegation. I think it's smart because it keeps people from doing like what he's talking about. Like in American sports, if a team is bad, like if you're bad and you know you're bad, they'll dive, they'll throw games, they'll literally move people around so that way that they don't win games, so they get better options in the offseason. They get better draft picks, they get a better shot at some of the younger guys coming up. And I feel like that's a little cheesy and a little cheap, right? To just kind of like throw away a season like that. I don't like that. So the idea of relegation, I've talked about this before, like obviously not on camera, but like I've talked about that before. I'm like, you know, how cool would it be if there were like these other leagues, you know, maybe let's talk about American football, right? The NFL. Like there's maybe these other sub leagues that go on at the same time that the NFL does. And then at the end of the season, you know, you've got, you know, maybe the bottom 4 teams. get relegated, out, and then the top 4 take those slots. I always thought that that'd be kind of a cool concept. So
to avoid the $40 million revenue loss that relegated teams suffer in the first year alone. Not to mention the fact that in England, 9 different teams have gone financially insolvent within 5 years of relegation.
Dang.
Okay, interesting enough, you're thinking. But what about that whole lack of playoffs part?
Okay.
Number 3. Each country also holds an elimination-style tournament, referred to as a cup.
Right.
But instead of being held after the 9-month league is over, cup games are scheduled in between league games.
Yeah,
normally
they're
in the middle
during.
of the week. One additional perk about the cup system is that teams from all levels, down to semi-professional and even some amateur teams, are invited to play.
I didn't know that.
If they do well, can progress, and occasionally even knock off a top team. So every year, these midweek elimination games continue until there are only 2 teams left, who play each other in the cup final. After 90 minutes...
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but some players end up missing like their normal league matches for cup stuff, right?
A cup champion is crowned, they get a trophy, and a parade. So, between the league and cup games, we get a great picture of who the best and worst teams in each country are. But wait a second, you ask. What would happen if the best teams from each country in Europe all got together and played each other? Good idea. Number 4. The resulting competition is called the UEFA Champions League, and it is without a doubt the single greatest club competition of any sport anywhere in the world, period. Think of the NCAA tournament, but with better quality of play, more than double the fan base, and quadruple the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And yes, Europe even has their own version of the NIT as well. So, through a complex and drawn-out process, teams from all over Europe compete just to qualify for this tournament.
So, I mean, it's a lot... This video is great, honestly. It really dumbs it down and simplifies it, and basically, I mean, it's very short and to the point, and it tells you exactly how things are done, and it makes sense. Like, when you think about it, when you don't know this stuff, and you know that there's like, I didn't know each country had its own league that went on, and then cups. I always wondered why cups were handled the way that they were, which, I mean, they don't really explain that. I'm still a little confused on that one, I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, this has helped me understand a lot more. I can say that for sure.
And starting each September, the top 32 teams are put into 8 groups of 4. Each team plays the other members of its group 2 times, once at home and once on the road. Come December, the winner and runner-up from each group move on to the knockout round.
Okay.
And this is where club soccer is at its finest. Teams are paired up individually and again play 1 home and 1 away game, with the winner from each pair moving on to the next round until only 2 teams remain. The Champions League final is then held as a single game each year in May. And unless it's the World Cup year, this is the most important soccer game of the year.
Okay, so he said unless it's a World Cup year, which it is this year, right? Do we still get, is this going on right now? Like, we're in April right now. Is this still gonna happen?
After 90 minutes, a champion is crowned, the trophy is awarded, parades commence, and all clubs go on break until the madness fires back up again in August.
Yes, sir.
So, to review, number 1, each country has its own league.
Right.
Number 2, the worst teams are kicked out of the league and replaced by the best teams from the next division down.
Right.
Number 3, throughout the year, each country also holds a playoff-type tournament called a cup. And number 4...
Oh, so each country also, like, has their own cup. I thought cup was a little more expanded than that. Okay.
The UEFA Champions League is a tournament involving all of Europe and is the most important competition in all of club soccer.
The end. There you have it. Well, there you have it. Would you guys be interested in, I was looking at the channel, and this channel's got quite a bit of videos like this. Would you guys be interested in me possibly checking out some of these other things from this channel specifically? I think it'd be a good time. And they're not very long videos either, so we could maybe break it up ever so often and throw one of these in there. I definitely learned something from this video. I feel a little bit more educated, but I feel like I could have learned a little bit more, right? So maybe if we've got something that, maybe is a more intermediate guide for Americans instead of I felt like this was a very beginner's guide, but there's still things I didn't know in it, so I'm not saying that I'm, educated in the sport at all. But I enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are interested in maybe doing a couple more of these or not. Either way, I'm down for it. Appreciate you guys hanging out though. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you have some recommendations on some other videos, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. I have a pups coming to say goodbye. Appreciate you guys though. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.